Hello everyone, welcome to a World of Warship Blitz video. Today's video is potentially the last video of the Baltimore that you will see from me. The Baltimore has been something that was my first or second tier 9, I think, after the Ismo, which was a bit of an unpleasant surprise. And the Baltimore has proven to be, well, an uncomfortable play. I go a little bit into it in the tier 9 respawn video, which is recently out. But essentially, you never get a game of all tier 9s. You're either with tier 8s or tier 10s. And a lot more tier 10s. There are fewer tier 10s, so they have less options. So often you find yourself in a group of tier 10s, sometimes as the only tier 9. And the Baltimore suffers from, well, no smoke, no skills, little range, and basically it's cruiser. It's got cruiser vulnerability. So it does struggle. It has good AA, which is nice. But yeah, and probably my play style doesn't suit it either. I do like to be a little bit aggressive, and well, with the Baltimore, aggression just doesn't come naturally. If you end up facing off against some destroyers, all the skills that I have from my time in dealing with British cruisers, of course, means that I can do a reasonable job of holding off something like a Shimakaze. But the poor range and the fact that it's got relatively slow reloads means that I can fend them off, but it's not like I can finish them off. So yeah, because they do have smoke and they tend to go at range. These guns, although they're not as bad as the Seattle perhaps or the Cleveland, they do tend to have rather slow arcs. So it does make for a difficult situation trying to deal with destroyers at range. So as a result, I've been there was tier 9 respawn, which gave me a massive jump on the ship. I'd been playing it on and off. Got sort of halfway to tier 10. That got me another quarter of the way, and then the rest of it has just been over the last few weeks with a few boosters and stuff like that. But it's come to make me realize that I probably aren't going to play the ship once I get the Des Moines, which I currently have. I've had one game in the Des Moines. Although it's similar, it feels better, it reloads faster. It just feels like it belongs in the game. I found that the Baltimore just felt like it was playing in someone else's sandpit. So you did have good games. This is an example of a reasonably good game. But what I found is that it just wouldn't do the damage. Sometimes you'd take the capture points, sometimes you could hold the position, but you really couldn't carry the team. And especially with tier 10s, it was very much a just survival game. So it wasn't very pleasant to play. I do have some missions that, or some honours missions that I forego, obviously, by selling it, but I don't see myself playing it for that length of time that I'd be able to get through those honour missions. Here I am. I'm holding the centre cap for the team, trying to keep those destroyers off with HE. So the AP of the Baltimore does struggle against larger targets at range and tends to over-penetrate destroyers, of course. So it means that I spend a lot of time firing HE, although here I probably should have been firing AP against this broadside cruiser. But as it turns out, worked in the long run. Still holding that centre cap. Here comes a destroyer, so he's going to put some broadsides on, which means that I'm just going to have to cut in. Nose into the torpedoes, may take one. Here we go, we're going in reverse. It does mean we're a bit of broadside onto that target over there. But this is generally how destroyers try to clear a cap, is they'll do a quick run through and send some torpedoes your way. And yeah, it's a little bit, we'll take one on the nose. That's 9 wasted torpedoes for one hit. I think those are fairly good odds. As you can see at the top, damage counter isn't good. We are holding a very good position in here. We're anchoring the centre cap. We're preventing them from stealing it. We're farming damage against battleships as much as we can, but not getting ourselves too exposed that we're a massive target. Team's doing a good job of knocking off the competition, and with the Baltimore you really do rely on a good team. So there's a fair bit of luck about what your win rate is. Nice set of torpedoes coming in against this Iowa. We'll get some final damage shots off, but they arrived too late. So yeah, so it's all looking pretty good. The Iowa has taken down one of our ships, so we're 4-2. We have destroyers. They have we have 2 destroyers, myself and the carrier. They have a battleship and a carrier. They are both. The battleship is so distant from the capture circle that it's laughable. And he's got some destroyers out there. As for myself, I'm going to desperately try and close the gap with this carrier. But you can see the horrific range problems that the Baltimore has. The Des Moines is going to have the same issues. But at least it'll have a fire rate worth a damn. So, yeah. So, a lot of unhappy thoughts about the Baltimore. It is, yeah, well, it's a ship. It's a path to I've got the tier 10. Now, what I'm finding with the tier 10s is this will be my 3rd tier 10. I have the Hindenburg, I have the Daring, and now I have the Des Moines, but I'm not actually playing them that much because, well, they're not really on the path to go anywhere. So, and I do prefer the tier 8, tier 7 gameplay, which just feels a little bit more, you see a lot more ships, you see a lot more variety than you do in tier 10 battles. Anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoyed watching the Baltimore. Came second for the relatively poor damage total, but just basically by holding capture zones. So utility for the team player, but team player no more because, well, it's no more. But yeah, I'm pleased to have Des Moines. We'll give it a crack and hopefully you'll get a video of it soon and you'll be able to see how it performs. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching that. Thanks for watching and we'll catch you next time.